So I really want to talk about why the village is tired. So I've been seeing a lot of, you know, people don't help me, I don't have a village, all of those things. And while to a certain degree, I empathize, right? Because I do a lot of things on my own as well. And I get it. I totally get it. Because even with me, you know what I mean? Like, I have support. If I need to do something, I can call my parents, especially for my younger kids. I have Miguel, who's super helpful with Gabe. Gabriel is very independent. And I have done a lot of work to make sure that he's functional pretty much on his own. Supervision, sure. Really for the sake of him not being hurt. But he is very independent. Now, every kid is different. And that point does not fall flat on me. I get it. However, some of y'all absolutely refuse to push your child into an uncomfortable situation. And unfortunately, uncomfortable situations are necessary to learn boundaries, to learn what no means, to learn how not to do something. It is uncomfortable. And I think this point is constantly being brought up because people will get on this internet and cry about how they have nobody to support them. But you're also not doing anything productive either, right? So, unfortunately, people don't want to deal with unruly kids, right? And I'm talking about no matter what issue they have. They don't have to be disabled, right? That's children, period. I'm not dealing with nobody's unruly ass kids. If you haven't taught your kids not to jump on the furniture, I'm not bringing no kids over here to be jumping on my furniture because my kids don't jump on my furniture. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's the simplest point I can make, right? At the same token, I have a disabled child. And I can absolutely give him space to stim, scream, chase me all over the house, really, to kind of be on top of me, whatever. Is it irritating? Absolutely. However, at the same token, he's not going around just randomly breaking things. He sits and does independent activities, and he can busy himself for a while. And when I redirect him, he's very redirectable. He will clean. He will cook, honestly, sometimes his own meals. There are things that he can do and things that actually are productive, but also help him to relax, right? Cleaning is kind of his thing, so I'm not mad about it. And that's one of his obsessions, but it's also helpful. Now, not every kid is the same, obviously. However, you as a parent are responsible for understanding what your child needs to thrive. And if you haven't figured it out, how are other people supposed to do it, right? If you're struggling, right? But yet you expect others to do what you haven't mastered yet. You couldn't send your child to somebody's house and be like, okay, this is what, would keep them calm. This is what you could do if, XYZ happened, blah, 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 blah. You don't know. So understand that the village is not willing to put in more time, effort, and work than you are. And I'm really tired of listening to those that refuse to work towards a more independent existence for their child and then complain that the village ain't doing nothing. Honey, no. That's not how the village works. And the village, frankly, is tired of a lot of the lazy parenting that people are doing. Period, point blank, end of story. Disabled child or not. Some of y'all are just lazy. Some of y'all just have some bratty ass kids. And don't nobody want to deal with that. So check yourself, check your kids. Because sometimes, even going out in public, absolutely not. And some of y'all just don't discipline your kids, and it shows. It shows horribly. The village is tired. The village is not going to show up for somebody who is not putting in the work. And then you wonder why you're stressed out, you're frustrated, and nobody's helping you because you're not helping yourself. And so it's a hard pill to swallow, right? And sometimes we got to look at ourselves and say, what is it that I'm not doing that is causing people really to move away from me, instead of trying to see that I'm putting in effort and work and want to help. People will see that you are struggling, but you are trying your hardest, and they'll be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll deal with it for a night. You go do your thing. My parents used to call me and be like, drop the boys off, go do something. And I would come home and sleep, because I'm like, I just need one good night by myself just to sleep. And that was one of the probably the most helpful things they could have done. My brother Ricky, used to take my kids sometimes for a weekend, all four of them, right? And I would just do whatever. Sometimes I would drive for 2 hours.
So sorry, too?
Okay, honey.
Okay, honey.
Just to drive, to be out and breathe fresh air and not have kids screaming in the car. And it was just something to decompress. Because they saw me working, and they saw me trying and being frustrated and being stressed out, and sometimes calling them crying and all of those things. But, you know, when people see you working and when people see you struggling, they want to help and they want to be part of the solution. But you have to put it in first. So I know that a lot of people are going to disagree, and I really don't care. A lot of people disagree with me on a regular basis, so I'm used to it. However, from somebody who puts in work, from somebody who pushes for growth, and for somebody who actually will set boundaries and stand in them, I can definitively say that you have to do more in order to gain the support that you're looking for. And that's